ICE isn't chasing the white immigrants? How come ICE isn't chasing the immigrants from Russia, Poland, Europe? How come? It's not about race, it's not about skin, but here we are.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing good. I myself am doing great, and welcome back again to Illidic Stories, where we break down the news they won't and they don't want to talk about. Whether it's controversial, political, or just plain wild, we're diving into it. Uh, I think it's breaking news that ICE agents are walking away one by one from their jobs. Not because of retirement, because they just can't do it anymore. Yeah, this is very, very deep. Let's be real here, fam. We've all seen the headlines: immigration is a political firestorm in America. But what happens when the very people who are assigned with enforcing those laws start quitting? We're talking here about the ACE agents that have started quitting one by one. We're talking about burnouts, mental breakdown, and straight up saying, I'm done. But why are they quitting? And what does this quitting, what is the message that they're giving to the community of them quitting the jobs? I hope you're getting me right. And I won't say much. Let's dive into this video so that we can talk about it at the end of the videos. Feel free to comment, make the comment section very healthy. And fam, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for your fam. We'll lead the stories. Let's support each other and we'll go greater and bigger. Thank you. Keep in touch, fam.
Look at God. In the last days, the Bible says that your enemies will become your footstool. Psalms 91 tells us, 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it would not come near you. And look at what's happening now. ICE agents are quitting. Despite the government passing the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, a policy that empowered ICE and merged their operation with law enforcement, many ICE agents are backing out. Why? Because for the first time, they are afraid. Drones are following them. They are being doxxed. They are being exposed. And most recently, some were attacked in a building. People were arrested for trying to retaliate. Now, I'm not here to glorify violence, but I am here to say that when you build your career on breaking up families, deporting people in the middle of the night, and tearing children from their parents, don't be surprised when the people push back. You can't play Nazi and then act surprised when the people you are harming decide to resist. Law enforcement already has one of the highest suicide rates of any profession. And now ICE agents are starting to feel that same weight. Fear, isolation, and the guilt of carrying out a mission rooted in hatred and cruelty. That's the price of trying to enforce unjust laws in a just world. Psalms 110 verse 1 says, the Lord says to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. And baby, that footstool is being assembled in real time. ICE thought they were untouchable, but the people have organized, exposed, and resisted. Drones in the air, documents on the web, and a whole lot of divine justice raining down from the sky. Because when the government builds walls, God sends floods. This isn't just a trend, it's a shift. When oppressors start fearing the very people they oppress, we are witnessing the unraveling of their power. And that, my friends, is what divine reversal looks like.
So apparently President Miller is ramping up the quota for ICE agents so much that a lot of them are regretting their jobs and feeling very depressed. A lot of them have to do 4 a.m. raids on nonviolent, just straight up U.S. citizens, I mean, they've been living here for however long. They have no criminal history. They have jobs. They have kids. They have families. They live in a neighborhood. They have a whole life here. And ICE is just having to go in and kidnap these people And I guess the ICE agents some of them have souls and are feeling bad about it, which, I mean, it seems like, how could you not feel bad about it? But whatever. If you guys feel so bad about it, then quit. Don't take this money. There's plenty of other shit you can do in this world. Stop being fascist helpers, okay? The whole we were just following orders thing is not going to save you when this all goes to trial in a few years. Just like the Nuremberg trials. That's going to happen here.
So now ICE agents are starting to quit their job. Why? Why are they quitting their job? Well, now they're afraid that people are going to follow them home. They're going to get doxxed. They're afraid that they're going to be injured on the job. All the stuff that they've been doing to these people. It's crazy. But yeah, and so you got political figures saying, hey, don't communicate like ICE is like the Nazis, or that the detention center is like a concentration camp. They all are starting to say, hey, we're afraid for our safety and things of that magnitude. This is crazy. This is crazy. They got extremely aggressive and have been and probably will still be aggressive for a while. And then if they're quitting, guess what the United States government is going to do? They're going to purchase bounty hunters and mercenaries to do the job. Look, it's not something that's sustainable. Going out and treating people like this is not sustainable. People will rise up, and there's never going to be enough of individuals to treat people this bad in these United States in this current time for people not to step up and say something. So, hey, probably shouldn't have got that job. Probably shouldn't have started. It might have been something that you wasn't even as excited about. You probably got pushed into it. But I'm not giving anybody any outs. You did the work. You treated people like crap. And now you're running with your tail tucked between your legs saying, oh, I don't want to get doxxed. I'm afraid that there's going to be injury on the job and all these other different things. This is crazy, y'all. But this is exactly what we're going through. This instability in our economy. This is instability in our government. People making immoral decisions. It's ridiculous. And that's why we want you to join us. Black out the system, y'all. Black out the system. Check out the video after this. It's going to give you a few details. And if you want to stay in the loop and get updates, please go to my profile, click the link, give me your information, and I'll make sure you get all the information as we move forward. See y'all at the top.
Why aren't they taking gang members? Why is ICE not taking gang members and serious criminals? You have to ask yourself that question. And once you hear yourself say it out loud, come up with an answer. Why do you think ICE is doing all of these raids and they're going to places where people actually work, like restaurant workers, farmers, car wash attendants? Why is ICE going after that? Trump said he was going to get rid of the worst of the worst. He was going to start with the worst of the worst. He has yet to do that at all. There are known gangs and gang members and leaders of gangs, like very well known to the government in this country. And none of them have been taken by ICE. So you want to know what I think? I'll tell you exactly what I think. The reason that they are targeting regular, hard-working, undocumented workers, but a lot of them are documented. They're just grabbing them, but they're not going into the really dangerous neighborhoods. So the reason they're doing it is because they want to damage our economy. That's exactly it. That's really the only reason. And that's what dictatorships do. They want to weaken and damage the economy slowly without you noticing. How do they do that? They arrest farm workers. What happens when they arrest those farm workers and deport them? Who is going to pick all of the vegetables and the fruits? They're going to all of these places that provide unbelievable amounts of labor, number one. Number two, billions of dollars in tax dollars, because a lot of these undocumented, most of them actually, or people who are here on visas and whatnot, they pay billions of dollars into our tax system. So the only reason, the only explanation as to why they're not going after the really bad criminals is because those people won't have an effect on our economy because they don't work legitimately. Boo! You heard me, huh? They don't work legitimately. They provide zero incentive to destroy an economy. How can Trump destroy our economy? Very easily. Get rid of all these skilled and very much needed laborers, the labor force. And that is exactly what he's doing.
So you've heard the news, ICE agents are quitting in droves. This is a real thing, Homeland Security can't even hide it, and some ICE agents are only still working there until they get their student loans forgiven. On top of that, when you Google ICE facility attack Texas, you'll see there was an ambush made on ICE agents because people are not only at a threshold, they are past it. But back to Adam Boyd, citing ICE is only chasing deportation quotas. When did that become apparent to you, Adam? Was it when Kristi Noem set the quota at 3,000 deportations a day? Was it when ICE began pulling up to people while getting surgery to deport them? Was it when ICE began deporting people with no criminal record? Or was it when ICE began arresting people at their check-in for their green card? Officers and agents have spent much of the past 5 months clocking weekends and waking up at 4 a.m. for pre-dawn raids. Their top leaders have been ousted or demoted, and their supervisors themselves under threat of being fired or pressuring them to make more and more arrests to meet quotas set by Trump and advisor Stephen Miller. Sad day. But we may be entirely missing the point that their ICE agents' conditions were perceivably comfortable up until now, but once the public began calling them out as cowards with masks for fear they'd be doxxed and experience the modicum of the treatment they doled out, now they're uncomfortable. Now they're uncomfortable. They were comfortable treating people like this. They were comfortable breaking up families. They were comfortable doing all the horrible things that they were doing up until now when they were pointed out for doing it. Now we're finding out who is behind the masks of the ICE agents are just a bunch of county correctional officers who have been deputized. And apparently, according to Adam Boyd, people who want loan forgiveness. Think about that. Would you be willing to break up families, do all these horrible things so your student loans could be forgiven?
Hello fams, welcome back again to Really Stories, and I hope you have watched that video. It's very interesting, but as I say, at the same time, it's very discouraging. Why? Because of the latest news says most of the ICE agents have starting to quit their jobs, especially those who have served for decades, those who have experience, those who knows exactly what they signed up for. These are folks who their main jobs is to enforce the law, is to protect the borders, is to stop traffickers. And but here's the kicker. Being used as political pawns in a broken immigration system. One former agent said, I was not signed for this. I was signed up to protect the country, of which that's very correct. I support him. Not to traumatize families, not to sit back and see the system collapse, not to separate families, especially documented families. They are dealing with an imaginable and a public image that has taken a massive hit. Some agents are even facing online harassment, media shaming, and even isolation from their own communities. That's a lot for everyone to take, I believe so. Honestly, one administration gives the ICE agents full power. The next one pulls out the brakes. No consistency at all. No direction, just chaos. Just imagine trying to do your job, your usual job that you're used to doing, with the rules keeping changing after every 4 years or even every 4 weeks. Will you be able to manage the jobs? It will be very hectic, I believe. Look, I'm not saying ICE is perfect. We're all humans. This has been real issues, no doubt. It makes you wonder if is this just the beginning of a bigger thing? So here's my question of today. If ICE agents are quitting their jobs, what happens next? What takes their place? And most importantly, What's the real cost of an immigration system that's even the enforcers, the ICE agents, can't survive it? Folks, let me know what you think in the comment sections. I really want to hear it because I really wonder. And please, folks, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Brothers and sisters, up to this time, we have reached the end, and what I have to say is peace. Stay safe and keep praying for the country. Have a nice time.